Okay, live. Hey, how's it going? All right. I thought I'd nail down a few things about uh, why the charity today. Um, so this is first off, this is impromptu. It's no script. All of these are. It's just sort of hey, I thought of this. I feel like sharing. So here we go. So charity is, I think, maybe three things. You can break it down to persons who need the charity, people who are interested in giving to the charity, and then people who don't need the charity, but who are also going to be affected by what you do. So, um, first off, a charity is giving to something or fulfilling a need. We're answering a question. We're saying, hey, um, you're important to us, and we'd like to help you out in this area. Um, so this is sort of a maybe an odd way to go about it, but I'd like to talk about crime a little bit today. So there's two things. There's number one, my theory of crime, which is people who basically it's damage to persons or property, all right, and then theft. So this is why we have the rule set for the shelter system of no, physical, verbal, sexual threat or theft. So damage to persons or property, not cool. uh, and then taking from somebody also, it's not good. It it basically it's a breakdown of society, right? So now we have, well, we have some desperate people, right? Well, there's a term called crimes of desperation, right? So the person who goes and steals, and they didn't have it, right? But they're starving. Well, is there a way to get them some food otherwise, and that sort of thing? So um, we'll just kind of step into this real quick. Um, so the reason why I think especially the international shelter system, why I think it's great is because it handles a lot of the questions. So you need food and sleep and income, basically. You need food and sleep to survive, right? So a shelter that provides a bed and provides food, right? We're also, we're also gonna have, shower and some regular things, but that's people need that to survive, right? So if they have that, now they don't have to go somewhere else to get that. All right. Um, the other thing is, how do people get in life? Okay, and this is basically through income, right? So that's you help somebody do a job, they make X amount of dollars, and then you get a portion of that for helping them accomplish their goals. So that's the jobs market, kind of in a nutshell. So, uh, but anyway, so you've got people who live on the street as far as homelessness. They're on the street corner with a help sign. Um, if you feel inclined, or you say, this is maybe I can believe in this person, and you say, oh well, I have X amount of dollars. My bills are already covered. Maybe I'm on the way to work, so I'm about to earn, I'm about to get more money. Um, I can see myself, giving to these people, and I feel like that would be fine, right? So your interaction with them may not be any more than that. Um, do you necessarily give them a a room in your house? No. Do you write them a check for their entire life? Maybe that's happened before. Sometimes people do that. Um, but we have to look a little bit at our own provision, and I like two examples. The first one is that life is the airplane, right? And the mask comes down, right? Well, we had a little turbulence or a problem. So when the mask comes down, I have to first put that mask on myself, right? So I have to make sure that I'm prepared, that I'm ready to go, that there is no issues for me as far as, survivability, right? Um, and then now with those close to me, I can maybe reach out and I can help what? Uh, row behind, row in front, row to the side, and behind and front, so a few extra rows. Or maybe I can see something that I know, would be of help, and I can yell out, right? Maybe somebody will hear me and they'll say, oh, yeah, you're right, I can do that. Um, so there's that one. And then the other is, life's pile of gold, right? So you have your pile of money and you say, well, it cost me this amount to live, right? Basically, it's not exact math, but I say, you take your whole pile, right? And you say, okay, well, I have X amount of bills, right? So I deduct that from my total pile, and usually, it's a good amount of the pile. So if you saw someone that you wanted to help, you can't just give them your whole pile of gold because now you don't have it, right? So there's no, excuse me, there's no there's no survivability for you. There's no forward, there's no future. You have to make sure that you have those things for yourself. So anyway, so about the same ratio of pile of gold to bills is, I think should be our giving, right? So I have, maybe a small amount of profit or net, as they call it, um, of my pile of gold after I've taken care of my costs, right? All the things it takes me to live and survive. So let's take again that smaller piece, right? So profit versus cost, right? So let's take the profit pile and now let's take a small piece of the profit pile and say, okay, well, we can give a small portion of this, and now this doesn't cost me. So surviving is the main, is the main goal. And this comes back all the way to what I said just a second ago, which is crimes of desperation. So people are really, I think, are really just concerned about survivability. All right. So you want to make it, right? So needs and wants, okay? And then there are things that you like. All right. Well, you may make $5 extra a year, right? You may make $0 extra a year. You guys aren't the ones that really should be giving, right? Um, let's say you make, 500,000 and your life only costs like 300,000. Okay, well, great. So now you need to plan ahead and say, well, I've put this money into my house, right? Um, average house cost when I looked it up within this last year was like 237,000 for America. So let's go up a notch, right? Let's dream for a second. Let's say you got $1 million, all right? Your house cost $500,000. You need to keep that 500,000, that extra half a million, just for costs for your house, to be honest with you. Um, you're going to have repairs. You're going to need a couch. You're going to need food. You're going to need utilities. So all of those things are very important. And it's something that you need to handle, you know. But the other side of that is, hey, my costs can be covered if I do this wisely and, take take my time and make sure that I've got all these things. So, if the next year you happen to, you know, run with, another 500,000, well, now you can plan ahead, right? Now you're into other things. You're into monthly payments, which is, some extras, some shopping, insurances, things that have a cost. Um, but anyway, so we believe here that when you lower the desperation, you are increasing what we like to think of as the perceived value of the city. So for just a moment, a policeman sees a homeless person, they're doing something, near the line of what's acceptable, or they're just what people would call an eyesore, right? Well, maybe they're doing something wrong, okay, and maybe they're not. Maybe they just look like they're doing something wrong, and maybe it just doesn't seem like a fit, right? So it's not always like poor neighborhood, it's okay, and rich neighborhood, it's not. Um, but it's a life is a dance, right? So there's a bit of this and that. Um, but again, and not to be rude, but there really there really isn't a move along because it takes time and cost and resource cost to go from one city to another city, right? And now you have to start fresh and all over again, and it's very difficult. This is why, again, the shelter system to me is so important because it's already there, it's already paid for, right? And all you're doing, within our system is doing some work, and that work covers all of the cost of you being there. So, because it takes food, right? Well, we had to contact somebody, so that took an employee, right? Now it took an employee on their side, so they have a cost. We have to make an agreement that takes time, that takes hours, which is cost. We have to get that food from there to somewhere else, right? That's cost. Now you can start talking about, oh, well, it costs to have food, right? So it's much wider and much broader, and there's always something else going on. So anyway, but we feel like having people a part of the shelter system will be a great thing, and we think that it's not unreasonable to ask people to work for their share. Um, but we also think that we're not here to make a profit in that aspect. So we won't be charging you more than, if you needed it, we won't charge more than it takes to cover your costs, right? So, um, anyway, so let's say, you're out on the street corner, you've got a sign, you've got a place that has, oh, I can get a meal here, I can get some clothes over here. Um, Once a year, I can ring a bell at Salvation Army. I can get 40, 80, a couple $100, depending. Um, but to live life with all of life's costs, is quite a bit more than that. So, um, let's just say day one, you wanted to, let's say you're an adult and you need a place, okay, great. So you're gonna have to go find an apartment. That takes time and availability to look up that stuff. So you can get an apartment guide and you can call them, or you can get a cell phone, right? Well, that took time, cost, and the phone cost. Okay. They're going to have to call you back. It takes a little bit of time. You need transportation costs to go up there. Once you get there, they're going to want some sort of down payment in most cases, unless you have a good credit history, or you can show that your monthly income through your job, right, far exceeds the 1/3 rule. So essentially, they call the 1/3 rule, so my cost of living, right, as far as like rent and mortgage and etc. Um, those costs, my rent cannot be more than 1/3 of my total income, right? To set the other one aside for vehicular costs, right? And then the last one is just standard cost of living. So food, sometimes utility, that sort of a thing. So you're going to spend, for an apartment, easy, you're going to spend $25,000. All right. Well, that's the cost of a year. It's a decent situation for an apartment. Certainly not 4 star, and certainly not the top. Um, but if you do the math real quick, that's $75,000. Okay. There are no 9 to 5 people making $75,000. So, put yourself in that position and then look towards, the charitable idea, the shelter idea. Um, so we feel like it's really important. So you need to get, something underneath your feet, um, really before you can do something that makes a difference. So this is why I believe in day labor, um, because it doesn't matter if I look nice or smell nice even. But I can go out there, and if I'm physically able, I can use a shovel and a rake and clean up a construction site. Um, I can do some sort of skilled or near skilled work that I have done in the past that I am able to do. Um, but because in most cases the employer, the person who's providing the job, comes to that place and keep in mind, this is, the math is a little heavy, but um, basically, as a worker there, you cost that guy twice the amount of money that they paid you, right? And not everybody knows that, but it's the truth, right? It's pretty much the same for a full-time employee, so it's not anything outrageous, but that's the cost. Um, so now if I need you for an entire day and I paid you $80, you at least cost me $160. I don't know you, right? I don't know if you're going to do a good job. I don't know if you're going to even do what I say. I don't know if you're going to cause me to have a cost by damaging or wasting time, in some cases walking off the job. Um, so those are things that they're concerned of, but the day labor center is the place that you go because you're saying, hey, I need this immediately. I need this right now. That immediacy comes with a premium. So there is definitely a cost involved there. Um, but, imagine yourself now, going from nothing to what you want, and you're in a place that has bed, food, a way to have communication, and even a jobs program, right? So you don't have worry about where I'm going to sit down and relax. How am I going to get some rest or some food? Do I have some clothing? Do I have the right clothing, including work clothing, so gloves and boots and such? Um, but with those needs fulfilled, you know, hey, over there in my shelter, there's a little couch area with a TV, right? Maybe everybody voted and it's not the show that's like best for you, but it's still relaxing, so, nice. A little bit of internet so you can do your own thing. We think that that's the biggest thing, and again, we feel like 24 hours, all the time, is the best situation because there is no moment where you're out there and the weather is too bad and you can't handle it, right? You lose all your stuff because it gets waterlogged. There's ways around that, and we'll be getting to that. Um, I'm actually working on a bit of a collage and explanation as far as like uh, gear that's necessary and helpful for surviving homelessness. If you're into camping, even it's a nice one to watch. So we'll be getting that out here pretty soon. Anyway, So, it's this and that, but we feel like if we provided these answers and have lowered the desperation, that there's less bad things going to happen. So, once again, thanks so much. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Just have a great day out there. And if you have any questions, let us know. So, all right, bye bye.